Greetings and welcome to 2020, my awesome viewers. It's the new year and I thought of starting it in a new outfit that I picked up on my recent trip to India. For my update today, I'll as always focus on three components. We'll wrap up 2019, we'll discuss two developments for December 2019 which lay the groundwork for what to expect in 2020, and that's the last thing we're going to be talking about. So let's look at this old chart which summarizes the asset returns we've had for 2019, and you can see that all major asset classes had a very good 2019, which was a sea change from the red that we saw all across in 2018. Now, despite this great run we've had in 2019, it still looks like there is some room to run, as there's not yet exuberance represented in the markets all over. Next, let's talk about two developments for December which I think are key. The first is the signing of the phase one trade deal between US and China. And the second is the decisive win for Boris Johnson, paving the way for a Brexit by January 31st. Now, I think with these two developments, a lot of geopolitical uncertainty has been taken off the table, and that should bode well for corporates to start reinvesting again, which has been held up because of the uncertainty we had seen because of the lack of the decision. With that, let's look at what possibly 2020 could unfold. What could 2020 possibly unfold like? Let's start by looking at the PMI manufacturing data for new orders, and let's look at the big economies of US, China and Germany, and let's add in Canada in there. And there has been a synchronized uptick of new orders. That should bode well for 2020, and we saw this uptick in the fall of 2019. Consider this against a US consumer that remains very strong, a Chinese government that's committed to a 6.5% GDP growth rate, and possibly clouds being clearing over the Eurozone. In the context of a monetary policy that remains largely accommodative world over, I think this should be very positive for 2020. Now, having said that, are there any wild cards out there? Now, we've seen the uptick in the oil prices from the events in the last couple of days, and we know that we have a very mercurial president in the White House. So you never know what could turn up around the corner. But if you ask me, the real wild card out there could be the US presidential 2020 elections. Now, Republicans are widely expected to carry the White House again, but a Democratic win, especially by one of the more progressive-leaning candidates, could be a spoiler for the capital markets. Now, January 2020 here in Canada is the start of the RRSP season ritual. Now, if you have portfolios that you need to be reviewed, to be repositioned, or you're just thinking of starting a new position, you know the number to call, 905-363-5035. I wish all of you a wonderful 2020. I'll be back for February. Bye for now.